The Curse of the Lizard Woman. In the shadowed corners of an ancient town, where whispers of the occult hung heavy in the air, lived a girl named Elara. From a young age, Elara was fascinated by the forbidden black magic, the dark arts, and the mysteries that lurked beyond the veil of reality. Her obsession grew with each passing year, despite the warnings from the elders about the dangers of tampering with forces beyond human comprehension. One fateful night, driven by her insatiable curiosity, Elara found herself deep in the forest, clutching an old, tattered book she had stolen from the town's hidden archives. The book contained rituals so dark that even the bravest sorcerers dared not speak of them. But Elara was fearless. She wanted power, and she was willing to pay any price to obtain it. Under the light of a crescent moon, Elara performed a ritual, chanting incantations in a language long forgotten. The air around her grew thick and oppressive, the ground beneath her feet trembled, and a foul stench filled the air. As she completed the final incantation, a cold wind whipped through the trees, and the ground seemed to swallow her whole. When she awoke, Elara felt different. Her skin was cold, clammy, and covered in scales. She tried to scream, but only a hiss escaped her lips. In the dim light of the forest, she caught her reflection in a pool of water. Her once beautiful face had transformed into that of a lizard, her eyes cold and reptilian, her body twisted into something inhuman. Terrified, Elara fled back to the town, but no one recognized her. The townsfolk saw only a monstrous creature, and they chased her away with torches and pitchforks. Desperate and alone, Elara retreated to the forest, where she hid, consumed by anger and despair. As the days passed, Elara's humanity faded, replaced by a primal hunger. She began to stalk the edges of the town, preying on those who wandered too close to the forest. One by one, she lured them into the shadows, her cold-blooded instincts guiding her as she attacked, her sharp teeth sinking into flesh. The townspeople whispered of a creature in the woods, a vengeful spirit born of black magic, but they were too afraid to venture out and confront it. Elara's legend grew, a tale of a girl who became a monster because she dared to play with powers she did not understand. But Elara was no longer a girl, she was a creature of the night, a lizard woman cursed to wander the earth, driven by an unquenchable thirst for blood and revenge. As years passed, the forest surrounding the town became a place of unspeakable dread. The once vibrant woods were now twisted and gnarled, as if the land itself had absorbed the malevolence that Elara had unleashed. The air grew thick with the stench of decay, and the cries of animals echoed through the trees, but they were never heard again. The lizard woman had claimed them as her own, feasting on their warm blood under the cover of darkness. The town, once thriving, became a ghostly shadow of its former self. Houses were abandoned, windows boarded up, and the streets fell silent as the villagers lived in constant fear. No one dared to venture out after dusk, for those who did were never seen again. The few who survived an encounter with the lizard woman spoke of her slithering through the darkness, her eyes glowing with an unnatural light, her scales reflecting the moon's cold gleam. Elara's curse deepened with time, her thirst for blood and vengeance growing insatiable. On stormy nights, the town would shudder as her hissing wails echoed through the streets, a chilling reminder of the fate that awaited those who crossed her path. She no longer remembered the girl she once was, her thoughts consumed only by the hunt and the thrill of the kill. The memory of her humanity had faded into the darkness of the forest, leaving behind only a creature driven by primal instincts. In the final, horrifying turn of events, a group of townsfolk, desperate to rid themselves of the curse, decided to confront the lizard woman. Armed with torches and makeshift weapons, they ventured into the forest, but their courage was no match for Elara's fury. She descended upon them with a speed and savagery that left no time for screams. One by one, they fell, their bodies shredded, their blood staining the earth. As the last of them perished, Elara's laughter and eerie, guttural sound filled the night air. She had become more than just a cursed creature, she was a force of nature, an embodiment of the dark magic she had once sought. The town of Willowbrook was left to rot, its people consumed by fear and despair, while the lizard woman continued to haunt the forest, her curse echoing through the ages. Over time, the tale of the lizard woman spread beyond the decaying town, reaching the ears of curious travelers and daring adventurers. They came in search of the legendary creature, hoping to either prove the myth wrong or to vanquish the cursed being once and for all. But none ever returned. Their disappearances only fueled the dark legend, and the forest surrounding Willowbrook became a place of pilgrimage for those drawn to the macabre. The more souls that ventured into the woods, the stronger Elara's power grew, feeding off their fear and their lives, until she was no longer just a creature of the forest, but a living nightmare that transcended the boundaries of her cursed domain. A terror that haunted the dreams of all who heard her tale. Elara's story became a chilling legend, a cautionary tale passed down through generations. The forest grew darker, the town more desolate, but the lizard woman remained an eternal reminder of the price of dabbling in the forbidden and the monstrous consequences that followed.